Oh, good morning, my people, my people. Let me phrase that. Good afternoon, my people, my people. Nice to see you in the chat there. Let's say good afternoon to a few people. Good afternoon to the one and only, the fantastic Gary Fearon. Good afternoon to you, sir. Hope all is well out there. Good afternoon to the one and only, the fantastic, tremendous, terrific, wonderful, absolutely fabulous, beautiful, gorgeous Peggy, my super duperest of most super duper mods. Good afternoon to you, darling. Thanks for being there in the chat, keeping your eye on things. Don't forget, show respect to Peggy because she is the super mod, the most super duperest of super mods. Thank you, darling, for that. Good afternoon to the one and only Sergeant Slopout. Hope you're doing well, Sergeant. Hope everything is in order. Yes, so we've got a few people. Good afternoon to Vanda Kostka. Good afternoon to you, darling. Hope the sun is shining up in Scotland, bonny Scotland up there, or Vanda Kostka. Yes, yes, we've got interesting developments, yeah. Stalkers and Lawbreakers, yeah, your time is up. And I will give an update on the Stalkers and Lawbreakers in general on the YouTube. It's all coming to a head. It's all coming to a head. You don't have to be a brain scientist to work this out. That it is good afternoon to the one and only Stevie Boy Billings from the wonderful Emerald Isle and the wonderful city of Dublin. Good afternoon to you, sir. Yes, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to work out that that nothing lasts forever, and on this corner community of YouTube, that people over a period of years, we're talking about a period of years here, have lost all sense of reality, and they got drunk. When I say drunk, I don't mean drunk drinking alcoholic beverages, but they got drunk in the euphoria of getting caught up in YouTube drama, and thinking that they could say and do whatever they like, on YouTube, and it was not accountable. Well, I'm afraid to say, as we have seen the other day demonstrated by that fella that got 66 weeks imprisonment for cyber flashing, things have now kicked in. But there's other developments that have been going on apart from this guy that got done the other day for 66 weeks for cyber flashing, plus 15 years on a sex offenders list, special list he got put on. But other people over this YouTube, in this YouTube corner and community, YouTube corner community, have been drunk on the euphoria of thinking and saying whatever they like, thinking that they were unaccountable because they were living in a false reality. Let me tell you something. Wake up and smell the coffee. See this YouTube. You cannot do and say what you like on it. I will talk about that. This is in generalized terms at the moment, that people think that they can say and do what they like on YouTube. Well, I am afraid to say that that is not what is applicable to YouTube. YouTube comes under the norms of civil society and law and order. Right, law and order. It's the same as what you are doing on YouTube is applicable as if you go outside your front door. See, the minute you open your front door and you step outside and you are in a public space, well, at the moment, when you are on YouTube, on a social media platform, it is the same. It's just like the same as that. It is the laws, the norms and laws of civil society and law and order apply to YouTube just as if you were to walk outside your door. Yeah. Or even if you're inside and you're on YouTube, you are subject to law and order. Yeah, so these people, good afternoon to the one and only OSP, the old school Pete. Good afternoon to you, sir. Hope all is well. So look, these stalkers and lawbreakers, yeah, I'm afraid to say their time is up. But what I'm going to talk a little bit about my own sort of, well, when I say my own, yeah, my own. And actually, I think Peggy had a taster of this as well from. There's a couple of stalkers and lawbreakers that we have had the misfortune of having dealings with. But I had it more in particular. I was recipient of the stalking and law breaking from these couple of people. Yeah, yes, yes, and yes. What happened was, like, I think I touched on it before, but there's been a new development. With you've got the law enforcement agencies. You know, the law enforcement agencies, the police. The police are your servants. Your servants are the police. Yeah, the boys in blue and the girls in blue is an equal opportunities force these days over the wonderful land of the UK. Now, let me tell you something, and now use people that are on YouTube, yeah, and you may be recipient to hate crimes, stalking and harassment on this corner of YouTube, yeah, corner and community of YouTube. You are perfectly within your rights to report crimes to the police. Don't buy into this thing about this subculture. You know, this subculture. We have a few of these people who have got criminal records, you know, like criminal records to varying degrees. You know what I mean? Like, you could say in effect they were failed criminals, you know, failed criminals. They never ever actually made any money of substance from their crime, but they've been involved in sort of, you would call it petty crimes or whatever, and they have all ended up on YouTube. And on this corner community on YouTube, you had this little subculture, yeah, of these failed wannabe criminals, right? You couldn't call them career criminals because they all got caught. They all got caught at various times, at various levels, and they were banged up. But you had them on this corner community of YouTube preaching the mantra, oh, don't grass. Everything is don't grass. Let me tell you, to you ordinary people, ordinary citizens like myself, who haven't got criminal records and are just on YouTube for enjoyment. If you are in a YouTube, you've ended up in a corner community of YouTube, and you have this subculture of these ex-criminals all shouting about, you can't grass people, you can't grass this, grass that. Why, let me tell you something. If you start getting stalked and harassed by anybody, listen to this, stalked and harassed by anybody on YouTube, and they want to carry it off YouTube, you know this concept of doorstepping. I will talk a bit more about that in a moment, right? But listen, just keep it real here. If you are a recipient of online on YouTube, yeah, stalking and harassing by lawbreakers, they're stalking you and harassing you. You are perfectly at your, it is perfectly a thing that you can do. You can seek assistance from the police force, yeah, from police officers. You are an ordinary citizen, and you have not got criminal records. You are not involved and haven't been involved in crime, and you are on a social media platform like YouTube, and you do not have to be harassed and stalked and harassed by the subculture of ex-criminals. They call themselves ex-criminals, yeah, but they have this subculture about, oh, don't grass, do not grass, do not grass. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, do not be on YouTube and let yourself be stalked and harassed and bullied, by hate speech or whatever it is. Whatever it is, if it is deemed a criminal offence, a criminal offence, you are perfectly at liberty to go to your local police station and report a crime. Report a crime. Yeah. Never mind this stuff about YouTube reporting channels and that. If somebody actually does something on YouTube in the open where you think they are committing a crime against you, get yourself down to your local police station and report the crime. Report the crime. I am going to dismantle and crush this concept about grassing on YouTube. Right, I'm not talking about this thing about reporting channels just nilly-willy for, when people are just having a bit of banter or something and it goes over the top. That is, some people can get annoyed and report channels, I don't know, but when you think there is a criminal act against you, a hate crime, yeah, you are perfectly at liberty to report it to the police for actions. Do you get what I mean? Like, good afternoon to this, that. Yeah, I like this one. Hang on. I would like to report some crimes against fashion. Certainly, some of the clobber that's been on show of late needs oh, what fun. That's funny, that is, isn't it? Yeah, good afternoon to this stat anyway. That is absolutely funny. Good afternoon to this stat. Good afternoon to the fantastic Miss Bam Bam. Hope you're well, darling, and all is good in the hood. Yes, good afternoon to Lambie. Good afternoon to Callie. Good afternoon to DJ Singies. I haven't seen DJ Singies a bit lately. I hope you're still doing the music, DJ Singy. Yeah, check out the DJ Singy channel. Fantastic music. And I've probably missed a few people in it. Good afternoon to Benjamin, the wonderful Benjamin from the Welsh Valleys. All right, boyo. Yeah, hope all is good in the Welsh Valleys. But let me move on with this. Good afternoon to the Ice Cold and good afternoon to the fantastic Carrickay. Oh, Carrickay from the wonderful little city of Northern Ireland, Belfast. Belfast, Carrickay. Yes. And let me just develop this theme more. Right, so I am in my infinite wisdom telling people, letting people know, do not be fooled for a moment by this subculture of ex-criminals, failed criminals, petty criminals who are roaming about on YouTube community corner and community of YouTube shouting out, grassing, don't grass, he's a grass, she's a grass, don't grass. Listen to ordinary citizens who have not got criminal records like myself and like the vast majority of people. We don't know nothing about this crime culture, ex-criminals that have been banged up, failed criminals who are now roaming about YouTube shouting to everybody, don't grass on this, don't grass on that. What I mean by that is if you are recipient of a hate crime on YouTube, if somebody threatens you, stalks you, harasses you, threatens to come to your door, I'm going to move on to this other level at the moment, in a moment, come to your door. In other words, what they are doing, they are then starting off with you on YouTube, yeah, digging you out, stalking and harassing you. It could be that is what happened in my particular case with a couple. They took it upon themselves to start a serious, one or the other of them. Look, when the two of these are brought to book, one will sing like a canary. Anyway, one will sing like a canary and furnish the police with the information, because two of them were working together, and one of them had my phone number and gave it to the other one. Yes, gave it to the other one. And between the two of them, I received over a period, I think it was over a year, it might have been, of non-stop calls. Non-stop calls. I didn't advertise it on YouTube, because I am a person who is mentally strong. And I thought, listen, if you want to play these games, I will endeavour to trap yous. I will trap yous, and you will get caught by the relevant authorities. The police, yes, the police, you will pay. If you, look, listen, the way I said it to them out loud on a live previously, yes, if you want to carry out the crime, you will have to do the time when you get caught, And so basically over a period of over a year, I was receiving silent calls, but I did receive, like the menacing calls with the voice would go, yeah, Jockney's Barrow, blah, 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 threatening me. And I would just listen to this, and I would say to myself, well, listen, chummy. I never said this out loud. I was just listening to the call, but I was saying in my head, this is how I was thinking. I was going, listen, chummy, you can yabber away, but this boy is on the case. You're going to get caught, and you are going to be reported to the police. I could see the big picture. When Chummy would be before the police. This is how it would go when Chummy got caught, yeah. I think at the moment Chummy could actually be, Chummy could actually be on remand or something, for these calls against me, and the stalking and harassment. I don't think at the moment Chummy is actually in custody, because I can't reveal too much with the police investigation into Chummy, who was doing the calls. There was two of them. Look, let me give you some information, right? One was a woman and one was a man, yeah? I can give you this much. I don't want to reveal any of the machinations and the workings that are going on in the police investigation, because I do not want to hamper the case. But a lady had my number. Did you see my voice goes quite high? Just for the guy out there who left a comment, this guy, he's a good guy. He's a Chelsea supporter. Tom Henry. He's got a thing about I've got high voice. Yeah, I think he's joking about it, but it is true. But my voice is high because I have got a high-pitched voice. And I when I do singing and all that, I do music and sing songs and that. I don't profess to be a high-level professional singer or anything, right? But my voice range, the pitch of my voice, I am a tenor. It's high. It's high for a guy. How'd you like that saying? So big shout out to Tom Henry for noticing that even when I speak and act, I have a high-pitched voice. Yeah, I can hit the high notes and all that. Yes, my people. Anyway, getting back to the, I can give you as much information that cannot hamper my ongoing case regarding myself. I do not want to hamper a police investigation, but what happened is a lady had my telephone number, my telephone number, which I had for donkey's years, and she, in her misjudgment, I would call it now, because she is probably singing like a canary to the police as part of the investigation, when the two of them are collared for investigation and questioning. And she, in her, I would say, a misjudgment, gave it to the other party. So there was two of them working together in tandem. in tandem on the stalking and harassment of me. Yeah, the stalking and harassment of me for over a year. And I was getting the silent phone calls and the menacing phone calls with the voice. But I took it upon myself to think to myself, well, listen, when I could hear this guy, like, yeah, you know, he was on the phone giving it the, right, you know, the threatening and all that, I just kept stum and I thought, listen, chummy, keep yabbering away. Keep yabbering away, I was thinking, because he didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what was going on with the tracing element. I will talk about the tracing element in a moment. Yeah, but I thought, chummy, your time is going to come, chummy, when you're sitting in front of the police officers and you are getting investigated. Because what happened is, over a period of that time, chummy, yeah, you know, this, we'll call him Chummy, yeah, they'll give him a pseudonym, you know, like a pseudonym. Chummy, well, he was doing the silent calls and the menacing calls where they could hear the voice of Chummy, yeah? And Chummy, we have found out, when we say information has come, I don't want to reveal too much information like about Chummy and the current investigation, but let's put it this way. Chummy thought he was be a bit of a wido, you know, a bit of clever. You know, these people, they always have a downfall where they always think they are more cleverer than the police. You know, the authorities, they think, I can do this, I can do that, and I can do this, and I won't get caught. Well, I'm afraid to say, Chummy, yeah, Chummy came a cropper. Yeah, I don't want to mention too much of the current position with Chummy, but what I can say is that at one stage, Chummy, Chummy was, they were using, it's called voice over the internet protocol, VoIP. Yeah, check it out. VoIP, voice over the internet protocol. And what it was like, right, even if they were using a burner phone or phones that they thought couldn't be traceable, they were making this as hard as possible to resist detection and getting caught. But they came a cropper. They've come a cropper. I can tell you this is going to end in a very sad development for the lady and Chummy, both of them. So what they done was, yeah, they used a company, yeah. See, voice over the internet protocol is a third-party company whereby they phone up, and when they phone up, it goes through the third-party company's computers, and the call then comes to you as if it has come from a computer. So when Chummy was ringing from, we'll just pick a hypothetical location, right? I won't even say the location because I don't want Chummy to get any hints of what's going on in detail. So I'm just going to pick a hypothetical location. Yeah, we will pick a hypothetical location in England. I'm just going to pick a random city or something, right? This isn't where Chummy was ringing from, but we'll pick a location like we'll pick Bath. I'll just say Bath. You know, the city of Bath or whatever what it is. You know, with that nice architecture. So just say Chummy was ringing from Bath, right? Right, he's got a phone. It might even be the burner phone, right? And it was going through the voice over the internet protocol through the third-party company, and it was like so when it was going to get traced, right? He's ringing from Bath, right? But it would come up from another location because it's coming through the computer. Yeah, it's coming through that voice over the internet. Yeah, protocol company, but they're a computerized service. Now, Chummy, if he was using a burner phone, he probably thought, I'm going to get away with this. I've got a burner phone anyway. Like he's done. And the other thing is, well, to get that service, Chummy had to in some way pay the company, you know, the voice over the internet protocol company. You had to pay them for that service to use it, right? So maybe he thingied it with cash. There's a lot of things. I don't really want to go into too much about that because that's part of the ongoing police investigation. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm going to sort of refrain from giving out too much detail. So I'll keep it very, very plain and simple. I can say as much as he used the voice over the internet protocol, third party, and he thinks he was getting away with it. But the information has come to my attention that Chummy is in big trouble. Chummy and the lady and Chummy are in big trouble and will have to pay for the crime. Yes. Yeah, stalking and YouTube stalking and law breaking is the crime. And if they do the crime, they will have to do the time. If they do the crime, they will have to do the time when they are brought to book. They're going to be brought to book to pay for the crime. So what I'm getting back to, let me get back to this thing about the subculture of ex-criminals, failed criminals, petty criminals, whatever you want to call them, this little group of people on the corner and community of YouTube who bang the drum about grassing, you can't grass this or that. Well, let me tell you, to use a minority little grouping, you do not run this corner or community of YouTube. This corner of community of YouTube is full of ordinary citizens who are law-abiding citizens and do not have criminal records. And we do not play by your rules. Your rules are in the dustbin. Your rules are for use in the dustbins if you want to use them rules of the not grassing. What we are saying is, when I say we, I speak for many, many people. I think I am the voice of many, many people, that if there is anybody on this YouTube at the moment, who are recipient of stalking and law breaking, YouTube stalking, you're getting YouTube stalking, hate crimes, and law breaking against them, you are perfectly at your liberty to go to your local police station and report a crime. Do not be kidded on with this subculture of ex-criminals about this terminology called grassing this, grassing that. Yes, if you have a crime against you, you are within your liberty to report a crime. It is actually your duty to report a crime. It is your duty to report criminal offences. It is your duty to... I bet there's a few of these people listening at the minute. Oh, like these people, listen, look, these criminals as well. I'll say the ex-criminals on the subculture corner of community of YouTube, this corner community of YouTube, they are probably, when I talk about ex-criminals, these are ex-failed criminals. They're not really career criminals that actually made any money. Look, most criminals that have got criminal records are failed criminals because they've been caught by the authorities, isn't they? They haven't, career criminals or whatever are probably people that are high-level criminals and have got lots and lots of cash. They've made a career out of it, haven't they? But they have never been caught. Probably your career criminals have never been caught, probably. But I'm just talking about for the sake of this YouTube stalking and law breaking against people on YouTube, the people that are doing that, the sort of ex-criminals who are shouting out about don't grassing, no grassing and all that, these are ex-people who are probably been people who have probably had an overindulgence for alcohol and recreational drugs. Yes, and they were very low-level petty criminals, monged out their head or smashed out their head on a daily basis under the influence of alcohol and recreational substances. That's the sort of people we're talking about. So don't listen to these people shouting out, don't grassing, no grassing and all that. If you are a recipient, you are receiving, currently receiving, or have recently received YouTube stalking and harassment and hate crimes against you, you are perfectly at liberty to go to your local police station and report a crime. And especially now we now move on to the next element of the live stream, whereby these people who have been YouTube stalking and law breaking, threatening people. As I say, these people think that they can do and say what they like on YouTube, and they are not subject to law and order. Well, let me tell you something. It don't matter if you're on a social media platform. What you say and do is subject to civil society and law and order. That is the law and order. And YouTube is just like anything else. As if you step outside your front door, law and order applies. Now, what I was going to say is you've got these people who, over a period of years, have lost all sense of reality, and they are saying things on YouTube that they think they can do it. They're just saying things which are actually breaking the law, could be subject to a criminal investigation. Yeah. I mean, I'll just give you an example. Like, I just heard one of these clip of videos. Right, I won't mention the names. Like, you're talking about this thing. I'll give you it. Right. There's two guys and a woman, and this woman is threatening to doorstep another lady. Yeah, they're threatening to doorstep another lady, and she is screaming out for addresses, name and address that she wants to go down, and she wants to inflict all matter of GBH, grievous bodily harm, on the lady. This is what she's saying on a live stream. And at the same time as she's saying it, yeah, she knows that she is breaking the law. Let me tell you why she knows she is breaking the law. You ask me the question, I will answer it. While she's screaming that she's going to cause GBH to the lady that she seeks her name and address to visit and doorstep her, don't forget this lady is saying this thing on a social media platform, YouTube live stream, right? She is applicable to the laws of the land. It's just like whether she's in the street or she's in her house, you cannot do and say whatever you like on YouTube. She was threatening a lady with grievous bodily harm. That is an actual crime, right? Whether she ever had any intention of doing that, for real, is neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. She has, by her verbal statement or verbal actions on a live stream, threatening a lady, saying, give me her name, I want her name, address, I'm coming up and I'm going to smash her up. That verbal statement alone was a crime. That was breaking the law. That was a criminal offence, which, if reported to the local police station, she would be subject to a criminal investigation with a view to prosecution. And let me tell you why I can further demonstrate the emphasis on why it is a crime. Because while she's saying it, in one hand, she is saying, give me the name and address of this woman, because I want to go up there and I'm going to do all matters of GBH on the woman. This is what she's saying. And at the same time, after she's saying it, she's saying to the person whose live stream she is on, oh, delete this live, delete this live. So what you have in effect is you have somebody knowing that they are committing a criminal offence by threatening to come to doorstep somebody's house, seeking their name and address, and threatening to come to cause them grievous bodily harm, and at the same time saying, delete this live, because they know that what they are saying and what they are intent on doing is a criminal offence, and they are, just by the verbal statement alone, they are breaking the law. Shouting, delete it, delete this live, delete this live. You were shouting, listen, this is to the lady concerned. You were shouting, delete this live, because you had actually just committed a criminal offence on YouTube, on a social media platform. You had committed that is an actual criminal offence. If that was reported to the local police station, there's no doubt if that was followed through, that this woman, regardless of nothing actually happened so far, she will be up in front of the judge. She'll be in front of the beak, and she will be found, I've got no doubt in my mind, she will be found guilty. She will be found guilty. And what would make the thing even more severe for that lady, she would receive a maximum sentence, because the prosecutor, the prosecution, or if it's at a magistrate's court, the magistrate would the prosecution would put it to the magistrate that the lady, when the lady was seeking to get the name and address of the lady, with a view to going and carrying out acts of GBH against the lady, grievous bodily harm, which she said, this is all on a YouTube live. This would be played in the magistrate's court, or in the Crown Court if she pleaded not guilty. But she would be found guilty, and they would say, look, when you were on the live and you said, give me the name and address of this lady, and then you went on furthermore to say that you would go to this lady's house and you would do all acts of grievous bodily harm on that lady, and you also said, delete the live, delete the live, delete the live. This is you on tape here. You knew that what when you were trying to get the information about the lady's name and address, and then you said that you were going to commit acts of GBH by saying that at the same time after that, you said, delete the live, delete the live, delete the live. Why did you say that? Why did you say that? This is what the magistrate would say. He would say, the reason why you said that is because you knew what you were saying and intending to do was a criminal offence. It's a criminal offence, and you have committed a criminal offence. It's neither here nor there that you never actually carried it out, but you have committed by just saying the actions that you've done by seeking a lady's name and address, and furthermore saying that you were going to commit grievous bodily harm against the lady, and at the same time saying delete the live, delete the live. The reason why you were saying delete the live is because you know that your words, the words you had just spoken, are committing a criminal offence. Otherwise, why would you be saying delete the live, delete the live, delete the live? Because you have just committed a criminal offence. I put it to you. That is why you were saying delete the live. And this lady, this YouTube Stalker and Lawbreaker, because that's what she comes under, this one who just done this recently, that she was breaking the law. Now, this lady whose name and address she was seeking, she is perfectly at her perfectly at her liberty to go to her local police station and report this crime against her. She is perfectly at liberty to do that. Yes. These people, let me tell you something, I know, these YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers have got to wake up and smell the coffee. See, with this one I just demonstrated, the one I just demonstrated by her actions, that lady that was threatening to get the name and address with a view to going to doorstep a lady and cause her grievous bodily harm. She knew that when she was saying that verbally on a social media platform, YouTube live stream, that she was actually breaking the law. She knew it. She knew when she was saying that she was breaking the law. And this is what I'm saying to you is, people, wake up and smell the coffee. You cannot do and say what you like on YouTube platforms, social media platforms, and think that you are outside of the law. You've just got to remember, it's just like you are outside your front door. The same applies on social media platforms. Yeah, it's the same law. The same law applies. The same law applies. Let me give you an example about this lady that threatened the lady, you know, just recently threatened, give me her name and address and give me her name and address. This is what she was saying, this YouTube Stalker and Lawbreaker. Yeah, it's on a live, it's on one of them Clipper channels, yeah. She says, give me her name and address. I'm gonna go and doorstep this lady and I'm gonna inflict GBH upon her. Right, yeah. This is what she said. Then she says, delete the live, because she knew she was breaking the law. She was breaking the law. Now that is just the same as that lady. See what she done on YouTube. Right, this is what I'm trying to say to you, that the law and order on YouTube is just the same as law and order, the law and order of the land. So if that lady's exactly what she said on YouTube, see if she stepped outside her front door, say just into the street, and she starts shouting at somebody, you know, somebody in the street, right, she shouts to somebody, give me that woman's name and address, because I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this, that, the other. I'm going to inflict grievous bodily harm on that woman. See, now you would say, if that happened in the street, you'd go, oh, that the police will come and she'll get done. She's threatening. She wants information to go and threaten and do GBH and some. It's just the same thing. It is the exact same thing. Doing it in a house on YouTube, right? So whether somebody that says this stuff with intent in their house, yeah, or they say it outside in the street, in a public space, it's the same offence. It is the same offence, and it is covered by law and order. So this lady, I don't know if she's done it before, if she's got previous, you know, this one, it's on a being clipped, asking for somebody's name and address with a view to visiting them and doorstepping them to inflict grievous bodily harm. That is a criminal offence. And if this lady at the other end, the lady that you intended to seek her address with a view to travelling to her household, to inflict acts of grievous bodily harm, was to go round to her local police station today, this afternoon or whatever, and report you, there's no doubt in my mind you would be investigated and you would be found guilty of a crime, and you would actually be sentenced. And I think you would receive the high end of the tariff, because when you were carrying out the crime online, on YouTube, on a YouTube live stream, trying to find the lady's name and address with a view to travelling there to commit an act of grievous bodily harm, GBH, you were also subsequently saying, delete the live, because you did not want the evidence there. if you carried out your crime, you thought that the evidence would be deleted. But the evidence is out there. And if that lady goes and reports you, well, if you were found guilty, which no doubt you would be, you would receive the high end of the tariff for sentencing, because when you're shouting out, delete the live, delete the live, delete the live, it's because you know that you have just committed a criminal offence on YouTube, on a social media platform, by saying, give me the lady's name and address, and I will go and I will do acts of GBH when I get there. That's what you were saying. And you would receive the high tariff of the sentencing from the judge. The judge would not hold back. He would give you the high tariff of sentencing. Yeah. Let me say good afternoon to a few people here. Oh, yes. Let me... Yeah. So we're getting the message through. Oh, good afternoon to the Scottish Ramblers. See this guy, check this channel out. See this one called the Scottish Ramblers X. I think this is a guy, he goes all over, you know, like up the mountains in Scotland and that, really sort of brilliant walks and that, you know, like up the Cairngorms. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just picking a thing. I don't know if he actually goes up the Cairngorms, but they go in a little groups. They meet up a bit like the Ramblers, but they do the Scottish, you know, like the Scottish countrysides and that, up right up North Scotland somewhere. Check out that channel. It's really good, and give it a subscription. Yes, Scottish Ramblers X. Very, very good channel indeed. It is for the people in Scotland that like the outdoors. Let me get through this. I'm just having a little thing with. Okay, I'm gonna go further, develop the theme of the live stream more. So we're going to pick that case. That was just an example I was giving you a recent example of somebody who has actually broken the law. It's been clipped. So the evidence is there, but this person has broken the law, and whilst at the same time breaking the law, actually making it be known that she was aware that she was actually breaking the law and carrying out a criminal offence. And at the moment, she will be reflecting on that, because if the lady who she was threatening to visit and doorstep with intent to cause GBH went to her local police station and reported that crime, I've got no doubt that that lady would be investigated. They'd find her name and address and everything online easy, and they would contact her and they would investigate her, question her, and I've got no doubt charge her with that criminal offence, because that's what actually happened. That was a criminal offence, and I think people should refer to that as a criminal offence. You know, with any dealings with that lady, it was a criminal offence that took place on a YouTube live stream. Yes, and so basically what I'm saying there is, if anybody carries out a criminal offence against you, yeah, stalking, YouTube stalking and harassment against you in hate speech or whatever, if you deem that something is a criminal offence against you, forget this thing about listening to the subculture of these failed petty criminals who all shout on this corner community of YouTube, oh, that's grassing. Let me tell you something. Wake up and smell the coffee. 99% of people on this community corner of YouTube have not got criminal records. We don't deal with that sort of culture. And what we do is, if there is crimes, if it is a crime, you can report a crime to the police. This is civil society and law and order. Yeah, civil society and law and order. Yeah, that is your service. You pay for that through your taxes. You know what I mean? Like, so don't be kidded in this little corner community of YouTube by this subculture of ex-failed, petty, for the majority, criminals. That there is some sort of code of grassing, or whatever they call it. Code of grassing. There is no code of grassing. There is only the code of the ordinary people. Yeah, I speak for the ordinary people when I say the code of the ordinary people is if there is a crime against you, report it to your police service, because you pay for that through your taxes. You pay for that through your taxes, and you are entitled to a service. And what I would say to the stalkers, the YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers, if you if you do if you do a crime, even on YouTube, against people, threaten them verbally, threaten them, seeking their addresses, threaten to doorstep them, etc., etc., that is actually classified as a crime. If you do crime, you will have to do the time if you are brought to a count, to book. Look, you can imagine. Let me just do a little bit of role play. Right, I'll do a little role play, about that. I will call that lady that done that action. It's on the live stream. You know the live stream where she threatens to get the information about a lady and doorstep her with a view to committing an act of GBH, and then shouting, delete the live, because she knew it was a criminal offence that she was doing verbally on YouTube. That was a criminal offence with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, threatening behaviour. Now, I'm going to just do a little role play at how it goes if she is reported by the victim. We will call it the victim. You know, the person who was a recipient of her criminal behaviour towards her. We would classify her. The crime is actually being carried out online, right? And this is how it would go. This is how it would go if the police investigate this lady. Say she was reported, the lady reported her to the police and said, look, there's a woman on YouTube. She's trying to get my name and address, and she's threatened to come to my house, and she is threatened to cause all manners of injuries to me and GBH. And it's all on YouTube. If you listen to the clip, it's there. It's there on YouTube. And I'm reporting this crime. Right, this is how it. Now, let me just tell you what happens next. I'll just do a bit of role play here. So the lady goes in and says that to the police. I'll start from the beginning. Right. This is a police officer on the desk, the desk of the local police station of the lady who was threatened by this criminal. We'll call the woman who made the threats a criminal. The criminal. So this lady goes to a local police station. She walks in the door, and the police officer is on the desk, at reception or whatever. Yes, good afternoon. Oh, I'm just here to report a crime. Yes, madam. What is the crime? What was the said crime? Well, yes, last night or the night before, whenever it was, yes, there was a woman on YouTube, and she was trying to get the details, my name and address. My name and address, and she's threatening. She knows this lady on YouTube knows my YouTube account name and everything, but she was trying to get my name and address with a view to come into my house, and she's threatening to inflict all manner of injuries on me. And she was saying, I think they amount to GBH, the amount of injuries. She was going to smash my jaw in and things like that. It's all there. It's actually, there is there is a video of it on YouTube, what she said, and she was also saying, delete the channel, delete the channel. The police officer, what? Okay, let me just, I've just took a note of that. I've took a note of that, and you see it's on YouTube on a video, a clip. It had been clipped. This threatening behaviour. Leave that with us. We've got the details, and we are going to pass that on. We're going to pass it on to CID. Yes, CID. The detectives. We're going to pass it on to the detectives, and we will investigate. They will investigate, and we will get back to you, madam. Rest assured. Rest assured. If you hear anybody knocking at your door in the meantime who will look strange or whatever, here's a number. Get straight on to us, and we'll be round there ASAP. ASAP. So just leave that with us, and we will go away. I'll pass this on to the CID detectives, and we will get on with investigations. All right, the lady leaves the police station. She's reported the crime. Yeah. The police officer on the desk passes it up the chain. Up the chain, it goes up to the detective, the investigating officer. The investigating officer. Right, so the investigating officer looks at this video. Let's see what we got here. We've got a lady who reported a crime. She was threatened on YouTube live stream. Yes, she was threatened by another lady seeking to ascertain her name and address with a view to coming to her house. They call it doorstepping on YouTube, and she was going to inflict all manners of violence on her. Speaking of breaking her jaw so many times, and that is tantamount to GBH. GBH. And furthermore, the lady who is threatening the other lady with GBH is saying, delete the video, delete the video, delete the video, because she knows that she is committing a criminal offence. So the police officer then says, okay, I'm going to have a listen. That's reading the description of the statement from the lady who reported the crime at the reception. The police officer detective now goes, I will have a look at the said video from the lady who committed the criminal offence. Oh, yes, here we have it. We have it on YouTube. Oh, and it goes along the line of, doesn't it? Oh, I want to get this. Give me her name and address. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to smash her in. I'm going to break her jaw. And I'm just summarising this bit part, yeah? The detective's listening to the video. Oh, then delete the live. And speaking out loud, the detective, his thoughts, he's thinking, oh, hang on a minute. This looks like a open and shut case here. What we've got here is we've got a woman online trying to illegally get the name and address of another lady, another YouTuber, with a view to going to her house and inflicting all matters of bodily harm, GBH, grievous bodily harm. And by her own mouth, she says she will smash her jaw again and again and again. And furthermore, she says, delete the channel, delete the live. She knows that she is carrying out a criminal offence on YouTube and in the law of the land. That is a criminal offence. So what I've got to do next here is, says the police officer, I am going to go and I am going to bring the lady who has committed this offence in for questioning. Yeah, so they drive up the road, they drive to wherever it is, to the area where the lady who made the offence lives, because in between that they have been onto Google, and they have said, I have an account here, I've got a live stream, I've got a clip from a live stream on such and such a evening, early hours of the morning, whenever it was, and this clip is from a live stream. can you give us access to the full live stream, because we want to check out if there was any other criminal offences in that full live stream, hate crimes, etc. But we are interested in this specific details from this clip where this lady is trying to ascertain somebody else's name and address with a view to go into their house to inflict all manner of bodily harm, GBH, on the lady or complainant. Have you got the information, and can you assist us in determining where this account, who that lady's account is? Oh yeah, this is a YouTuber. We'll call this YouTuber the lady, yeah. X. We'll call her X. This is account X. All right, thank you very much. I have got the legal papers here to get the information as to her current registration on Google, her name and address, because we have to go and we have to make investigations and interview her. They hand the paperwork to Google, and Google say, yes, we will cooperate. This is her name and address, email, telephone number, etc. All the information we have on Lady X, the offender, the criminal offender, we give it to you. And yes, can you keep us informed as to how the investigation goes? Says Google to the police officer. Yes, we will indeed. Next thing is, police officer goes to the X's apartment or house, wherever X lives, knocks on the door and says to X, Madam X, because it is a lady, Mrs. X, we have a reason to believe that we are investigating a complaint. We're investigating a complaint of a crime that we believe was committed on YouTube, and we are going to take you down to the station for questioning. Yes, we are going to take you down to the station for questioning. I have to say to you, we have reason to believe that you may be guilty of the crime, and we are just going to read you your rights. Anything you maybe say will be brought down against you in evidence, etc., etc. You know that spiel that the police give to would-be criminals. But we're going to, I don't know if they'd actually do that at that stage, but they will say, we are taking you down to the station for questioning, for you're under investigation. Get your coat, etc., and we are ready to take you down to the station. She gets a coat, etc., and she gets into the car and drove to the station. And they take her into an interview room. Have a seat, Mrs. X. Would you like a cup of tea or anything? Oh, no. Okay, we'll get on with questioning. Yeah. We have reason to believe that... good afternoon to Liam Carty. Good evening to you. We have reason to... Good afternoon to Incognito. Good afternoon to you. Right, the police officer will say to Mrs. X, Mrs. X, we have reason to believe that you were on a live stream with two other fellas, and they are subject to investigation for other matters. But we will concentrate on you at the moment, like Mrs. X, and we believe whilst you were on this panel that you threatened to get a lady's details of where she lives, and we know the actual account of the lady concerned, but you were trying to get her name and address with a view, you said, of visiting her at her place of residence. Furthermore, with a view to inflicting grievous bodily harm and, for example, smashing her jaw again and again and again. And furthermore, you said delete the live. Now I'm just going to play this video from YouTube. So the police officer plays the actual live where Mrs. X is saying what she said, all the stuff, and ending with delete the live, delete the live. They say, now, Mrs. X, is that you speaking on that live stream? Well, look, Mrs. X is just going to crumble, isn't she? She's going to crumble in the interview. She's going to admit that everything that was said was her, because her voice is distinctive. They'll say, look, you can't deny this, because look, it's your YouTube account. You were logged in. It's your YouTube account. You were logged in. It's your voice. We have got voice experts here. If you want to, look, if you don't want to just come clean, Mrs. X, you're going to make things a lot more serious for yourself. If you want to cooperate and just hold your hands up and cooperate, and we can move on with this. We can move on to some sort of conclusion. Now, do you confess that that was you on that YouTube live stream? Yes, it was me on that YouTube live stream. Why is that you asking for a lady's name and address? Yes, I was asking for the lady's name and address. Why were you asking for the lady's name and address? She goes quiet then. I'll tell you why you were asking. I put it to you, Mrs. X, that you were asking for the lady's name and address because you wanted to go to her residence with a view to, as you said on the video, smash her jaw again and again and again, committing acts of grievous bodily harm. What have you got to say to that, Mrs. X? Yes, I did say it, but I wasn't going to do that. Ah, you have confessed. You have said you did say it, but you weren't going to do it. Do you know, Mrs. X? Do you know, Mrs. X? And I think you do know, Mrs. X. I put it to you that when you were trying to get this woman's name and address with a view to carrying out a threat of grievous bodily harm, visit her residence with a view to committing grievous bodily harm, that you knew that was a criminal offence, that alone, just saying that. Because why did you say, Mrs. X, delete the video? Delete it. Delete the live. Did you know verbally when you were saying that you were committing a criminal offence? Well, I was saying it, but I wasn't going to go there. No, but listen, I will ask you again, be very, very careful here, Mrs. X. When you were saying that, did you know in the back of your mind, you knew that was committed? I put it to you, you knew that you were committing a criminal offence. Well, I wasn't going to go there. No, but I need an answer to this question, Mrs. X, because why? I put it to you that you did know that you were committing a criminal offence, and I put it to you, Mrs. X, that by saying delete the live over and over again, the reason why you said that, give me your answer to that question, Mrs. X. Why did you say delete the live? You kept saying that. Why did you say that? You're not saying much, are you, Mrs. X? You won't answer that because you knew that you are guilty. You were committing a criminal offence, Mrs. X. You were committing a criminal offence and you were well aware of committing the criminal offence. So this is how it goes, Mrs. X. I've got no alternative. I don't think they'd say I've got no alternative. They'd just say, look, based on the evidence and your interview here, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you will say will be taken down and given in evidence to you in a court of law. What says you? Anything to say? You've got the right to get a solicitor or legal attorney, a legal representative, yes? And you are being charged with, this is the offences you're being charged with, Mrs. X, you are being charged with on malicious communications, stalking and harassing and hate crime against another YouTuber, and for threats of grievous bodily harm. And there is a few other charges in amongst that, but I have just given you the gist. This is what Mrs. X is now going to appear before the court for. Mrs. X is as guilty as can be. Yes, this is what would happen if the person reported the crime to the police. Yeah, these people on here, I'm just giving you an example, and I don't know if anybody will take any notice of this or whatever, but people have to realise that the online criminality, we call it cyber crimes and stalking, harassing, hate crimes. This is all come under law and order, civil society law and order. What people are saying online, you are going to feel the full force of the law. It's going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. Yeah, you can't just do what you like. You are subject to the laws of the land. You are subject to the laws of the land, and you have to obey the laws of the land. Yeah, you have to obey the laws of the land. Let me, just before I go, let me make a few. I'm not going right this minute, but I'm just going to make a. Let me just give you a further update in generalisation. Oh, good afternoon to Nilo. Good afternoon to Nilo. I just spotted somebody in the chat when I see somebody I haven't seen before. So let me just say that there's. I predict. I haven't got a crystal ball or anything like that, but I've got my finger on the pulse. You know what I mean? Like, I've got my finger on the pulse, and I predict that going back over the last 2 to 3 years or whatever, right, there has been all sorts of shenanigans on this corner community of YouTube, whatever you want to call it, right? And I think that people have to be aware that people have lost, because I'm saying that in past tense, because I think people are now aware that there's been a ginormous clampdown, and there's people going to get severe time in prison in the big house for criminal offences online. And what I've noticed, like, over the last 3 years on YouTube, that people had lost all sense of reality. They say and do things that, you know, they just say and do things that they wouldn't do outside of their front door. They've got carried away in a world where they think this is an unreal world. You know, like, YouTube's an unreal world. You can say and do what you like. There's no law and order. There's no norms of civil society and law and order. That has come home to roost. It's come home to roost. It was an illusion. And there's a lot of people on this community corner of YouTube got drunk on the euphoria of drama and thinking they can say and do what they like. Actually, some even went further and started doing things off YouTube. Right? And you know what makes it even what can I say, like, funnier? If you think funnier, that you have had people, right? You have had people on YouTube, a bit like the case I just gave you. You know, this lady, Mrs. X. Like, we'll forget about the Mrs. X case. This is just my general point, my generalisation point about YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers. So, as I say, we'll summarise. Over the last 3 years, you've had people all saying and doing things which would be tantamount to law breaking, you know, on social media, on YouTube, right? They've been saying things because they think that they could say and do what they like, and YouTube is an unreal space where law and order does not apply, but it did apply. And you will find that going back for about 3 years, that you would, this is my prediction, in the next 6 to 8 weeks, there's going to be what you would call, you know, like a backlog. You know, like a backlog. You know, when things take whiles to come to fruition, when things take a while to come to fruition. So you had people on YouTube, YouTube Corner community, and they would be saying a wide variety of things that would probably be classed as criminal, well, not probably, would be classed as criminal offences and breaking the law. They'd be talking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm just giving a generalisation. No, but nobody in particular. This is across the board with this YouTube corner community. So you had these people for over a period of 3 years breaking a law on YouTube, on a social media platform, saying things that I think would be criminal offences. You know, saying things on YouTube that they're going to do this or they're going to do that or whatever, right? Things that I think would be actually law-breaking and criminal offences, right? And some of them, yeah, this is why I talk about the next 6 to 8 weeks, actually took what they were saying on YouTube, off YouTube, right? So just to give you an idea, if somebody, like I gave you the example of Mrs. X, where I said she was trying to get a name and address of somebody, with a view to visiting them and threatening to carry out acts of GBH, right? She has committed a criminal offence on YouTube, on a social media platform. You know, the example I just previously gave you, that is an example of a criminal offence. Now, on YouTube, right? Now, what I'm now talking about is in the generalised point about over the last 3 years, you had people do the same thing. See this thing about, I want to know somebody's details, and I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to do this, that, the other. Like, they're going to put it this way: if they're looking for people's details, right, where they live, etc., and they are saying that sort of stuff on YouTube, they have been saying it over a period of 3 years, right? Right, that is a criminal offence. You know, seeking to get somebody's address and all that, go and whether commit acts of violence against them or whether they go to harass them, stalk them, etc. Right? If they're just saying that verbally on YouTube, that is classed as a criminal offence. But some of these people over 3 years, not only did they commit the criminal offence by saying on YouTube before they actually carried out the actual criminal offences off YouTube, they actually did carry out criminal offences off YouTube. So in other words, I will give you an example, a hypothetical, yeah? We'll just say a Mr. Blogs, right? Mr. Blogs would say on YouTube, I want to know that guy's name and address or whatever. When I get the name and address, I'm going to go down, I'm going to do something, yeah? I'm going to do something, whether it's an act of violence or whether I'm going to go down and harass them or whatever. I'm going to go to the person's address and carry out criminal offences. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is, so they said that on YouTube, Mr. Blogs, this is a hypothetical example, Mr. Blogs has said on YouTube, I'm going to do something, then he actually does it. If he actually does it off YouTube, right, he's done the criminal offence that he said what he was going to do on YouTube. He's actually carried out the criminal offence. But what even makes it worse, that over the last 3 years, there's been people who have, you know what I've just said there about, I'm just using a hypothetical, this is not aimed at anybody in particular, but a Mr. Blogs, we will say, has asked for information about name and address of somebody with a view to going to their location, to their residence, in the vicinity to carry out criminal offence. Right, so he said, Mr. Blogs has said that on YouTube. He then subsequently goes off YouTube and does what he says. He goes to the area, the person's address, and carries out criminal offences. Then what makes it even worse is Mr. Blogs would then go back onto YouTube and say, yes, I have been to the person address who I was seeking, and I've done it. I have done the criminal offence. There's people been doing that over the last 3 years on this corner community of YouTube. They have actually they've said they're going to commit criminal offences off YouTube. They've went and committed criminal offences off YouTube, came back onto YouTube, like I'm talking about on the platform, boasting about having carried out the criminal offences. Now, this would be over a period of 3 years, and I predict. I'm just going to wind this up in the next couple of minutes. I predict, because I've got my finger on the pulse. Yeah, I'm not a psychic where I can look into the future, but in the current climate, with the clampdown on cybercrime, on social media platforms, etc., I think that over the last 3 years, I predict in the next 6 to 8 weeks that on this corner and community of YouTube, I expect that there will be at least 2 people, probably 2 people, yeah. 2 people, maybe 3 people, yeah. I think it could be 3 people, yeah. And I'm not mentioning any names or anything. I'm just giving you a sort of generalised point of view, and bearing in mind the current climate and the clampdown on social media. What we would call the clampdown on social media criminality. What I mean by that is things like stalking, YouTube stalking, and that sort of crime. Yeah, there's been a big crackdown. So basically, having looked at 3 years worth of YouTube corner community, I think in the next 6 to 8 weeks, I would be surprised. Yeah, surprised. Now, whether I will say probably about three people, I think will probably. I think 3 people in all probability will probably be in court. They'll actually be on trial. Whether they plead guilty or not guilty, that is another matter. And if they plead guilty, they just get dealt with by the courts, don't they, swiftly. But if they plead not guilty, then you will have YouTube trials. No YouTube trials. And YouTubers will be very, very interested in trials. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but if any 3 people get done for the YouTube stalking, you know, the stalking and law breaking, any people get done for that over the last 3 years and they go to court for trial, I'll probably go down and have a look. As a YouTuber, I would be interested in if there's anybody from the YouTube community corner and community of YouTube are done for YouTube stalking and law breaking. It would be interesting to go to the trial, to hear the trial, wouldn't it? You know, in the public gallery. public gallery. But I would say that probably, this is just my feeling. My feeling is that there's going to be probably, I would say the number, yeah. I would say that there's probably about 3 people that are going to be recipient of trials. 3 people I think will be up in front of the judge. You know, 3 people will be in front of the judge. And what you're going to probably find out is that probably the 3 people, yeah, will be probably, in all probability, yeah, they will be found guilty of whatever the charges are. Because don't forget, 3 years ago up until today and that, people have just been lost and drunk in the euphoria of YouTube drama. And they've just been saying and doing what they like, and as if the law of the land did not apply. But it's all come home to roost. It's all come home to roost. There's no doubt that the police, if there's 3 people, if there is 3 people going for trial, 3 people are up before the courts. If there's 3 people up before the courts, there's no doubt that the police will have amassed files and files of evidence, especially if it's to do with YouTube stalking and law breaking, because the evidence is, I would say, like, how much evidence? At least 50% evidence would come from YouTube, yeah? You know, where the people, the 3, we'll just say the 3, yeah? 3 law stalkers and lawbreakers, yeah? If there's 3, this is the generalised side there. The 2 I was talking about at the beginning of the live stream, they're separate. They're my particular stalkers and lawbreakers that were stalking and law breaking against me. That's a separate thing. I'm just talking at this moment, before I end the live stream, winding up about the general point across this YouTube corner community that I expect, going back for the last 3 years, that there's probably going to be about 3 people who will probably be before the judge for YouTube stalking and law breaking. And some of the 3 or the 3 or whatever will also probably have evidence, not only evidence from the YouTube, by their own mouths, you know, when they've been on like lives or videos. The police will have amassed a load of evidence like that, but also they will probably have the damning evidence, and the ones that are going to probably cop the biggest sentences are the ones who actually took their verbal admissions off YouTube. In other words, they'd said, I'm going to do something to somebody. I'm going to go somewhere to somebody with a view to doing something to somebody, breaking the law, and then actually doing that, and then going back to YouTube and telling everybody what they just done. They will receive the most highest sentences. They will get tariffs. You know the tariffs? And the tariffs, I think we're talking about here, yeah, you know, with the free YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers, I think the tariffs are very high, very high. Look, I'm going to say for the free YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers, the sort of tariff, general tariff, like I'm talking about, this isn't the most highest, but this is the one. This is the one that if they get in the middle, you know, in the middle, I think the 3 of them are going to cop 6-year sentences. YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers will probably cop 6 years minimum. Minimum, yeah. They will cop 6 years minimum sentences. As for my own separate from them 3 YouTube Stalkers and Lawbreakers. My actual 2 Stalkers and Lawbreakers, you know, the 2 I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, which are separate. Yeah. I think the tariffs for them is going to be, I don't know. I think the tariffs for them, if they come before the judge, you know, to do with it, it's mainly to do with the communications. Also the thingamajig, the YouTube stalking and law breaking against myself with them 2, they could be copping sentences of, I think, a minimum of 4 years. 4 years. I think one of them, the one who was doing the actual the voice threats, I think the tariff could be a bit higher for him. His could be possibly 5 to 6 years. Yeah, 5 to 6 years. You're talking about lengthy sentences. This is why people on YouTube, especially this corner community of YouTube, should waken up and spill the coffee. When you're saying things on live streams, videos and all that, be aware that you are in a public space. It don't matter that you're sitting in your front room or whatever. You can't just say what you like and do what you like. You are subject to the laws of the land. And the laws of the land are civil society and law and order. So just imagine it's just like you're outside and you're in the street or you're in the pub. Imagine it's just you've got to when you're online, you've got to be in the same. That is the same thing. That is the same thing. Oh, good afternoon to the Batfink. Good afternoon to Karina. Good afternoon to you, darling. I haven't really been looking at this chat thing. Good afternoon to Kelly Davis. Wonderful little lady from the wonderful nation of Wales. I have got 2 Welsh people in the chat. I don't know if they're in the chat together at the same time. I don't mean together like they know each other, but I have got Benjamin from the Valleys. Benjamin from the Valleys. He's got a brilliant Welsh accent. Yeah, if you've met Benjamin Kelly, and you've got the proper Welsh accent. You know, Kelly Davis, Kelly D. She speaks like the Welsh accent. I can't really do the Welsh accent. You know my Welsh accent. Good. All right, boyo. I got Kelly Davis in the. I got Kelly Davis from the old Valleys in the chat there. Sorry, it's turning a bit Indian. I got Kelly Davis from the Valleys. I've got Benjamin from the Valleys. Benjamin from the Valleys and Kelly Davis from the Valleys. Yes. Yeah, maybe if they're doing that Irish, yeah, Kelly and Benjamin, yeah, from the wonderful country of Wales. You know, the Valleys. So basically, what I was going to say is, for the time being, I will update you on my own personal case. I'm talking about the true YouTube stalkers and lawbreakers that have been giving me the grief. They're getting dealt with the police at the moment. I'll update you if there's any new developments on them, but I can't say too much because if they go to court before the judge, I don't want to nobble the trial, you know. We'll leave that to one side. But as for the other free generalised, you know, when I said the free, going back 3 years worth of YouTube, I think without having my crystal ball, I think 3 people are going to be before the judge, and by their own tongue, by their own words and mouth and actions off YouTube, they are going to be found guilty, in all probability found guilty, and they are going to be given large sentences. Large sentences. You're talking about minimums of, well, I think you're talking about minimums of six years. I think you could be talking about 8 years. 8 years sentences, each one of them. See, so just before I go, keep things real. You're in the real world. Remember, when you're on YouTube, you are in a public space. you're in a public space. Just remember that, and you won't go wrong. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to go. I've got to go to lunch and all that. Let's see. I'm just scrolling up the chat a bit. Oh, good afternoon to Cindy. Yeah, check out the wonderful Cindy channel, cracking channel Cindy is, and please subscribe. Subscribe to all the channels, any channels that you think are, Lambie, etc., Nilo. Yeah, there's good channels there. But, yeah, subscribe to these wonderful channels. Pablo Escobar, Batfink, Nilo. So, yes, people, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go. The weather's nice. Let me have a look. The weather's quite nice up in London town. Everything's under control. And we will do, I think we're going to have to do another one of these YouTube Stalkers and Lawbreakers, because things are happening at breakneck speed. And I've got an intuition and my finger on the pulse. But the big news, just to summarise and finally wrap it up, forget about the two that are YouTube Stalkers and Lawbreakers that I'm dealing with. My two personal ones that are under police investigation. Put them to one side, park them over there. In generalisation, going back for about the last 3 years, I expect that there's going to be about 3 YouTubers, 3 YouTubers, probably for their actions and behaviour over the last 3 years in this community corner of YouTube, are going to be before the judge and probably, in all probability, found guilty of charges and will receive sentences of the highest level from the tariffs. And I think you're talking about minimum for the free YouTubers. They will probably cop 6 years minimums, and in all probability, 8 years. So I think you're talking about the 8 years, but they'll be lucky if they get 6 years each. Yeah, but it's looking like 8 years, I think. 8 years. So don't forget, do not get carried away with YouTube. YouTube is a public platform. It's just like going into the street. Good afternoon to 420. 420, yeah. He's getting a lot of flack and getting a lot of copyrights and all that. So go over after this live stream and subscribe to 420 channel, yeah. Give them a bit of support. Yeah, people, give them a bit of support. Right, I'm going to sign off, people, because I've got to be getting out the door soon. So have a great. I'm going to do another one of these. Yeah, we'll do another one. What day is it today? Thursday. We're going to do one at the weekend. Yeah, to keep you in the loop. We might do one over the weekend during the day, or early afternoon. I like to do them sort of early, and we will do one on the YouTube Lawbreakers. YouTube Stalkers and Lawbreakers. But for the time being, have a great day. Or let me just say thank you very much to my most super duper mods, Peggy, for keeping an eye on things. Thank you very much, darling. Everybody else, have a great day. Yeah, be lucky and stay blessed. Catch you later. My people. Bye for now.